Washington is once again at the center of the nation's attention, its iconic skyline shrouded in tension and uncertainty. The city's marble monuments and historic avenues have witnessed countless political battles, but few have matched the gravity of the moment now unfolding. A historic impeachment drama is underway, drawing the eyes of the world to the steps of the Capitol. The air is thick with anticipation, as reporters and camera crews jostle for position, eager to capture every development in this unprecedented saga. On January 11, 2026, Representative Maxine Waters, joined by a determined coalition of lawmakers, filed articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump. This marks the third time Trump has faced impeachment proceedings, a milestone never before seen in American history. The corridors of power are abuzz with speculation, as lawmakers from both parties weigh the consequences of this extraordinary step. The move comes after months of mounting crises and political turmoil. Whispers of invoking the 25th Amendment have circulated in hushed tones, while ongoing Department of Justice criminal investigations and recent Supreme Court rulings have further limited presidential authority. Headlines across the nation reflect a government in turmoil, with each branch of power grappling with its role in this constitutional showdown. In the midst of this chaos, key legal advisors and long-time Senate allies have begun to distance themselves from the president. Once loyal supporters now avoid the spotlight, leaving the president increasingly isolated and vulnerable as the political winds shift. Lawmakers argue that this impeachment is not just about one incident, but a response to a persistent pattern of behavior that has repeatedly tested and, in their view, exceeded the limits of executive authority. The debates on the House floor are heated, with passionate speeches underscoring the stakes for the nation's future. The decision to move forward with impeachment signals a profound belief among many in Congress that the president's actions represent a clear and present danger to the constitutional order. Behind closed doors, lawmakers confer in urgent tones, aware that their choices will echo through history. The nation now braces for weeks of public hearings, legal arguments, and political maneuvering. Every statement, every vote, and every revelation will be dissected by a public hungry for answers and accountability. The world watches as the drama unfolds, with the outcome far from certain. This is more than a battle over the fate of one man. It is a fundamental test of the checks and balances that define American democracy. The institutions of government, from the courts to Congress, are being challenged to uphold their responsibilities in the face of extraordinary pressure. For millions of Americans, the outcome will serve as a real-time civics lesson, revealing both the gravity and the complexity of removing a sitting president. As the process unfolds, the nation is reminded that democracy is not just a set of rules, but a living system, one that must be defended, even in its most turbulent moments. The immediate trigger for impeachment was a covert military operation in Venezuela, revealed by unsealed classified documents. The president authorized the raid without congressional approval, bypassing the legislative branch's constitutional authority to declare war. The operation was far deadlier than reported. Over 100 civilians killed, not a dozen, as the White House claimed. Lawmakers accuse the administration of misleading the public and using manipulated intelligence to justify the strike. The impeachment articles allege a cover-up, destroyed evidence, obstruction of justice, and a deliberate effort to hide the truth. The scale of unauthorized action, civilian deaths, and deception made impeachment seem not just possible, but necessary. The revelations have drawn comparisons to the most controversial moments in U.S. foreign policy history. The impeachment articles outline three core charges: unauthorized military force, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice. Launching a raid in Venezuela without Congress's approval is seen as a direct violation of the Constitution's war powers. Lawmakers argue the president manipulated intelligence to justify the attack, betraying public trust. Obstruction charges stem from efforts to destroy evidence and mislead investigators about the operation's true scope. Critics say this pattern of behavior, evading oversight and deceiving Congress, threatens the balance of power. The charges are not about a single misstep, but a series of actions showing disregard for the law and the Constitution. Impeachment, they argue, is necessary to prevent future presidents from repeating these abuses. The stakes are nothing less than the future of American democracy. Unlike previous impeachments, this effort has drawn support from moderate Republicans, Senators Tillis, Collins, and Murkowski. Their decision to co-sponsor the articles marks a historic break within the GOP and lends credibility to the charges. The bipartisan backing transforms The process, from a partisan fight into a constitutional crisis recognized across party lines, the evidence of unauthorized military action and civilian deaths proved too compelling for some Republicans to ignore. These senators say their loyalty to the Constitution outweighs party allegiance, deepening fractures within the GOP. Their support pressures other Republicans to confront the substance of the charges. The bipartisan nature of this impeachment dramatically increases the chances of conviction in the Senate. This is no longer business as usual in Washington. President Trump's response has been swift and combative, marked by a refusal to back down or show any sign of weakness. From the very first moments after the announcement, he has positioned himself as a victim of political persecution, determined to fight back at every turn. He's attacked the impeachment as a partisan witch hunt, insisting that the entire process is nothing more than an attempt by his enemies to overturn the will of the people. On Truth Social, Trump has unleashed a barrage of posts, denouncing the investigation and branding the Republican defectors as traitors to the cause. His rhetoric is fiery, designed to energize his supporters and intimidate his critics. He's issued stark warnings to others in his party, making it clear that crossing him comes with political consequences. The message is unmistakable. Loyalty to Trump is non-negotiable. His strategy is to discredit the process itself, casting doubt on the legitimacy of the proceedings, and rallying his base with calls to stand strong against what he calls a corrupt establishment. Rather than address the specific charges, Trump has chosen to focus on the broader narrative of victimhood and resistance, refusing to engage directly with the allegations. The president's relentless attacks have deepened divisions within the GOP, pitting loyalists against those who question his conduct. Now, Republican lawmakers are forced to make a difficult choice: stand by the president and risk their own reputations, or uphold their constitutional duty and face the wrath of Trump's base. Speaker Mike Johnson faces the daunting challenge of holding a fractured caucus together, as tensions rise and unity becomes harder to maintain. The White House's official defense has been to emphasize that the president acted within his legal authority, framing his actions as necessary for the protection of national security. Advisors argue that the investigation is not only unfounded, but also politically motivated, orchestrated by opponents who have never accepted Trump's presidency. As the nation watches, political analysts debate the merits of the case, while protesters on both sides make their voices heard outside the Capitol. Trump is betting that by keeping his base fiercely loyal and the party divided, he can weather the storm and survive impeachment once again, just as he has before. For Trump, this is not just a legal battle, but a test of political strength and personal resolve. The stakes for both the president and his party have never been higher, as the outcome will shape not only their futures, but the direction of the country itself. Public opinion has shifted dramatically, with a majority now supporting impeachment after the Venezuela revelations. Polls show a surge in support among independents and even some Republicans, reflecting the seriousness of the allegations. The bipartisan nature of the charges has resonated beyond party lines, making impeachment a political reality. Lawmakers in swing districts now see supporting impeachment as less risky, and perhaps even necessary. The facts, not just rhetoric, are driving public sentiment. As hearings begin, the court of public opinion will play a crucial role in shaping the outcome. The process now moves to the House Judiciary Committee, where evidence will be presented and debated in public hearings. With bipartisan support, the committee is expected to recommend impeachment to the full House. A simple majority vote in the House would send the case to the Senate for trial. The Senate trial, presided over by the Chief Justice, will put the president's actions on trial before the nation. Conviction requires a two-thirds Senate majority, 67 votes, meaning at least 17 Republicans must join Democrats. The initial GOP fractures make conviction more plausible than ever before. Each senator will face immense pressure as they weigh evidence, conscience, and political consequences. The fate of the presidency hangs in the balance. This third impeachment is a defining moment for the presidency and the nation. Never before has the country faced such a test of its institutions and its collective resolve. The eyes of the world are watching as Americans grapple with questions about justice, accountability, and the very nature of democracy itself. If convicted, Vice President J.D. Vance would become president, inheriting not just the office but a nation deeply fractured along political, social, and ideological lines. He would be tasked with the monumental challenge of uniting a country where trust in government is at a historic low, and where every decision is scrutinized through the lens of partisanship. One of his first and most consequential decisions would be whether to pardon Trump, a choice that carries enormous political and legal consequences. Such a move could either help heal the nation or further inflame tensions, setting the tone for his presidency and shaping public perception for years to come. A conviction would send a powerful message that no one, not even the president, is above the law. Yet, it could also deepen the already sharp divisions in American society, risking widespread unrest and challenging the nation's ability to move forward together. Regardless of the outcome, this impeachment will leave a lasting mark on American history. It will be studied and debated for generations, joining the ranks of past impeachments as a pivotal chapter in the nation's ongoing experiment with democracy. It highlights the fragility of democratic norms and the need for constant vigilance to protect the principles that define the United States. The events unfolding now serve as a stark reminder that democracy is never guaranteed. It must be defended and renewed by each generation. The charges, secret war, deception, obstruction, raise fundamental questions about leadership, accountability, and the limits of executive power. They force the nation to confront uncomfortable truths about the responsibilities of those who hold the highest office. The decisions made in these critical days will shape not only the current presidency, but also the standards and expectations for all who follow. The legacy of this moment will echo through the halls of power and in the hearts of future generations. The nation stands at a crossroads, its future defined by the choices of the coming weeks. What happens now will determine the direction of American democracy, and the world is watching to see which path the country will choose.